I'm Bo Johnson. It's December 19th, 2025. Welcome to YesToHellWith.com. Today I am bearing a gift for you and yours, a Christmas gift. I wrote my first novel some 3 years ago. It's called The Legend of Sebastian Chiffon. I would like you to have a copy. Allow me to explain why. Given the topics we share on this platform, I am often struck by the knowledge and wisdom that is required to distill the truth of our world. Yes, there are so many lies and great deceit that it is a challenge to understand why things are so wrong. But there is another component to our desire to prevail with truth. And this other thing is, at least in my humble opinion, much more important than understanding. In a word, it is character. I could also use the word courage. There is a truth most people never understand until it's too late. You cannot defend freedom if you have not first defended yourself from your own fears. The Liberty Dialogues were written to expose the government's misuse of jurisdiction, the lies, the presumptions, the system of fear that keeps Americans obedient. But knowledge alone does not create courage. It doesn't create character. A man can know the law and still collapse the moment he is tested. The sight of an IRS letter or engagement with a CID agent will cripple some. Thus the novel The Legend of Sebastian Chiffon. Sebastian's story is not separate from what we do or the content within the Liberty Dialogues. It is the foundation of them, because the Liberty Dialogues teach what every American must understand about government. Sebastian teaches what every American must understand about him or herself. Sebastian begins as a man suffocated by expectations, afraid of disappointing his father, afraid of speaking truth, afraid of taking the step that might cost him everything or allow him to gain everything. Millions of Americans live the same way. They know something is wrong, but they stay silent. They comply. They shrink. They wait for someone else to act. And then fate pushes Sebastian into a moment he cannot escape, a moment where life must be saved and fear must be defeated. He finally becomes the man he was meant to be. That transformation, not the wolves, not the mountain, not the legend, is the reason this book is essential for anyone studying the issues that destroy life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Confronting these topics demand a certain kind of reader, a person who understands jurisdiction, who understands consent, who knows how government builds power through fraudulent presumption. But they also demand a certain kind of soul, a man or woman who is willing to confront fear, who stands firm when standing costs something or perhaps even everything, who refuses to bend to pressure, and who knows exactly who they are. Sebastian's journey is the internal version of the Liberty Dialogues' external fight for truth. The Liberty Dialogues teach you how federal power works. Sebastian teaches you what personal power is. And if you're going to stand before government agents or judges, prosecutors, or a system bent on fear and intimidation, you need more than knowledge. You need character. You need identity. You need the courage that Sebastian found when he stood between death and saving another life. Without that courage, the Liberty Dialogues are just information. With that courage, they become weapons of liberation. This is why every reader of the Liberty Dialogues must read Sebastian Chiffon, because the dialogues restore the republic, but Sebastian restores the man and the woman. Wouldn't it be great to know that if you were to confront the police, an IRS agent, the court, those dark forces that eviscerate the idyllic American life, that you would do so with steely resolve, that you would stand against brute force with grace, dignity, and honor. If you would like a PDF of The Legend of Sebastian Chiffon, it's my Christmas gift to you. Please go to yes2hellwith.com and click on the link at the top of the page. Share the book with friends and family. If it stirs your soul, consider buying a copy on Amazon.com, a paperback or even a hardcover copy. This is not a story about fiction. It is a story about preparation. Because the system you are told that will protect you will not hesitate to destroy you when you step outside of its expectations. It does not require your guilt, only your fear. It does not need your consent once it has trained you to surrender to it automatically. I learned this not from books, but from tremendous loss, from raids and isolation, from a court that spoke the language of law while emptying all of its meaning, from confinement that stripped away certainty and everything that once felt comfortable and permanent. And here is the truth that survives all of it. What remains when everything is taken is who we actually are. That is what the Legend of Sebastian Chiffon is about. Not heroics, not fantasy, but the quiet, terrifying, necessary confrontation between a man and his soul and his utmost fears. The Liberty Dialogues teach how power is misused. Sebastian teaches what happens when fear is finally defeated. Read this book not as entertainment, but as rehearsal. Read it to ask yourself the only question that truly matters. When the moment comes, will I stand or will I fold? If you know the answer, you already have peace. If you don't, the story exists to help you find that peace. And as always, may truth reign supreme.